Hello, students. In this module, we are going to be going over module number 6, which is competitive analysis and research, market research, surveys, step 2 of your marketing plan, which is on competitor and pest analysis, and then at the very end, check-ins, discussions, and assignments. So let's start off with competitor analysis here. So what is competitive analysis? It's a strategy where you can identify major competitors and research their products, their sales, and their marketing strategies. So by doing this, you can create business strategies that can improve upon your competitors. This can help you learn the ins and outs of how your competition can work, and it identifies what they're doing right and the opportunities where you can easily kind of one up them using a strategy that they haven't taken advantage of. So some examples could be as like services. For me, if I do social media marketing, I would go out there and research to see what other freelance people in the area are doing social media marketing. Maybe I go to their pages, maybe I find out who their clients are and what they're doing. If it's product based, I want to see what other products are out there. And the first thing I do when I do competitor analysis is I go check the competitors' Instagram, social media, and websites. That's just kind of like a start there. So, thinking about competitor analysis when you're doing your marketing plan, who are some of your competitors for your project? Is it services? Is it products? Is it a restaurant? Is it a coffee shop? Is it, car washes? So kind of think about these things and start analyzing what your competitors are doing out there. And by performing a competitor analysis, you'll be able to identify the gaps in the market. So maybe things that they're not doing that you could be doing. It gives you ideas on developing new products and services, uncovers market trends, and market and sell more effectively. So I have a brand that I work with. They make energy gels for runners and they have certain flavors, but yet our competitors might have different flavors. Well, how popular is that different flavor? Maybe we need to make a flavor similar to that, or maybe we need to make something with caffeine, that's more calories, that's more carbs. So just identifying those gaps in that market. So how do you do a competitor analysis here? So step one, determine who your competitors are. There are direct competitors and there are indirect competitors. So direct competitors are businesses that offer a product or service that could pass as a similar substitute for yours and that operate in your same geographic area. Now, this could be a little different if your business is online. You're going to have a huge geographic area. Indirect competitors provide products that are not the same but could satisfy the same customer need or solve the same problem. So going back to the energy gel, the company I work for is Spring Energy. A direct competitor would be Goo Energy, who also makes gels, but maybe an indirect competitor would be someone like a Tailwind who makes an energy drink. So it's not a gel, but it's a drink, so it provides products that's not the same but could satisfy the customer's need. You really only need to focus on direct competitors for the marketing plan, but it's also kind of nice to figure out who your indirect competitors are. So here's an example here. Stitch Fix, Fabletics, a great example here. Both are subscription-based services that sell clothes on a monthly basis and serve a similar target audience. However, one brand focuses on stylish everyday outfits, while the other is workout-centric attire. So see how this one's more workout and this one's more everyday. So these brands satisfy the same need for women having trendy clothes delivered right to their doorstep every month, but they do so with completely different types of clothing, making them indirect competitors. So see how that is? Indirect competitors there. Step two is to determine what products your competitors offer. So you want to analyze your competitors' complete product line and the quality of the products or services they offer. You can usually determine this by their website. And also follow their social media and see when they're doing discounts. How often are they doing sales? Maybe they do free shipping, 10% off. Maybe they do huge sales during the holidays. So make a note of all of that. So here's another example here, Belching Beaver. They have several locations in North County. That's why I chose them. They have core beer, limited release, hard seltzers, and sours. They probably have a little bit more now. They're always making changes here. So some things to think about. Are they a low cost or high cost provider? Are they working mainly volume sales or one-off purchases? What is their market share? What are characteristics and needs of their ideal customers? Are they using different pricing strategies for online purchases versus brick and mortar? So, when you order beer online versus in person versus a distributor like a grocery store, what are the different prices? How does the company differentiate itself from its competitors? And in the beer industry here, which is huge in San Diego, there are a lot of competitors. How do they distribute their products and services? So you can get a lot of great info from company websites. Belching Beaver has a lot of websites here. If you're looking to find out where their beer's sold, if you can't go to the actual location, you can put in, you know, your zip code and find out what stores, retail stores they're being sold at. A lot of companies have these location tabs now on their websites. So step 3, research your competitors' sales tactics and results. So some things to think about. What does the sales process look like? What channels are they selling through? So are they selling only online? Or are they selling to distributors, retail stores, social media these days? You can make a lot of purchases on Facebook and Instagram. Do they have multiple locations, and how does this give them an advantage? Are they expanding, scaling down? Do they have partner reselling programs? What are their revenues each year? What about total sales volume? Do they regularly discount their products or services? So based on the size of the brand and company, some of this information may be really hard to find. Some of it may be very easy. So Belching Beaver, you can, again, find a lot of great stuff on their website. You can do a lot of Google searches. They happen to have multiple locations. Step 4, analyzing how your competitors market their products. So again, social media is great, and their website. Do they have a blog? Usually the blogs are on the websites. Are they creating white papers, case studies, ebooks? Probably not in the beer industry, but maybe like Karl Strauss might be doing some case studies because they're really into the science of creating beer. Do they post videos or webinars? So this would be more services based. Do they have a podcast? Podcasts are huge now. So many companies are launching podcasts or already have had launch podcasts during the COVID years. Are they using static visual content such as infographics and cartoons? Do they have a facts section on their website? I believe pretty much every single brand does. And do you see any press releases? So here is more information on the brewery. They have blogs, they have facts, a lot of great info on their website, and they probably have updated it since I've taken these screenshots. It's been a little while. Step 5, what is your competitor's content strategy? Content strategy is huge these days. Everyone's making content. Do they have several hundred blog posts or small handful? You know, are they busting out a blog once every few days or just once a month? Are there 5 white papers or just 1 ebook? Are they publishing something new each week, once a month? What do they what is the quality of their content? How often are they posting on social media? Maybe you're a member of their email list. How often are they sending out emails to everyone through their database? So what's your, some things to ask when it comes to the content strategy? How accurate is their content? So this is kind of like diving a little deeper than the basics here. Are spelling and grammar errors present? How in depth does their content go? Is it introductory level, or is it more advanced? So if it comes to beer, maybe it just says, "Oh, this beer tastes like pineapple," because all the beer, so a lot of beers have fruit. Or is it more into like talking science talk on the hops and the temperature that the beer was created? Is their content free and available to anyone, or do their readers need to opt in, such as join their email list? Do they use generic stock photos or custom high-quality images? Custom illustrations and images? Are they using stock photos? Do they at least have overlays or tech quotes, like where they're making actual graphics in a software like Canva, as an example? What are their calls to action? Do they sending people to their purchase page, a website? So here's some more information here, different posts on social media. Here's a special beer that they have that's only available August through November. I don't even know if they make this beer anymore, but it was really good when they had it. Step 7, analyzing the level of engagement. Things to ask. How does your competitor's audience respond to the content do they post? So checking on social media. Are people commenting, sharing? What are they saying? Negative, positive? You can check the average numbers. Are they tweeting about specific topics? Usually, if there's an event, maybe there's a bunch of people tweeting about a beer event. Are readers responding better to Facebook updates at certain content? Or are they all on TikTok? Just all those different things of analyzing the engagement. So here's an example. This is a tweet. This was an excellent and special. Absolutely love stout. So that was probably after some sort of event. Step 8. Observe how they promote their content. Which keywords are your competitors focusing on that you still haven't tapped into? So doing some keyword research. What content of theirs is highly shareable and linked to? Which social media platforms is their target audience using and the most active on? Is it Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram Threads now? Who else is sharing what your competitors are publishing? Who is referring traffic to your competitors' sites? And step 9, checking the social media presence and strategies more and more. How does your competition drive engagement with their brand through social media? Do you see social sharing buttons with each article? So this would be like in the blogs. Does your competitor have links to their social media channels in the header, footer, or somewhere else? Absolutely, they should. They should have these links on every single email blast, every single blog, and on their websites. Do they use call to action buttons? So here's kind of the footer of the website here. You know, they have a follow us section. So when you're checking your social media presence, you want to, check to see if they're on all the different channels. Of course, I'm missing some because some have been added here. We got like TikTok now, Instagram Threads, and Twitter, which is X now. Audit the quantitative items for each platform. So you want to do a social media audit when you're doing your competitor analysis here. Number of followers, the frequency and consistency of the posting, the type of engagement. Has anything gone viral? Like, is there a certain video that maybe got a ton of posts, an Instagram reel? What kind of content are they posting? How much of this content is original and how much is generated, user-generated content that they're getting from maybe fans and followers? How does your competition interact with their followers? So you could have a post with 20 comments from followers, but is the company interacting back with them? Are they asking questions? Are they giving praise? Or are they just kind of doing a little easy comment back, like with emojis? So pay attention to all of that as well. Next up, we're going to get into more market research here. So that was competitor analysis. This is market research now. So market research is a systematic process for identifying marketing opportunities and solving marketing problems. This uses customer insights that come out of collecting and analyzing marketing information. So market research can be essential in understanding customer needs, how their needs are or aren't being met by the market, views about various products and companies, satisfaction levels, preferences for products, features, and pricing, consumer decision-making process, and factors that influence it. So some things you want to ask when you're doing market research here is who's the customer. You're going to need to identify the demographics. So you've already learned all of this, demographics and personas and all that. What problems is a customer trying to solve with a given purchase? So things to think about. What problem are you trying to solve? What does a customer desire in the way of satisfaction? Like, what are their expectations? How does the customer get information about available choices? Where does a customer choose to purchase? Why does a customer buy or not buy? Pricing maybe? Shipping? When does a customer purchase? How does a customer go about seeking satisfaction in the market? So there's two main types of market research. There's primary and secondary. So primary is a combination of both qualitative, which is non-numerical data, very important slide here, and quantitative research, which is numerical or statistical data. So a process where businesses can get in touch with the end customers or employ a third party to carry out relevant studies to collect data. So there's exploratory and there's specific research that can be obtained with the primary market research. So exploratory is open-ended, where a problem is explored by asking open-ended questions, and specific research is used to solve the problems that are identified by the exploratory research. So, some examples of primary methods can include focus groups, which is most commonly used qualitative research methods. So, this is a small group of people, usually just 6 to 10 people, who typically respond to online service sent to them. Information can be collected remotely, but it also can be done without personally interacting with a group of members. And there's also one-to-one interviews. So, personal interaction in the form of an interview where the researchers ask a series of questions to collect info or data from the respondents. So, questions are open ended and asked in a way to facilitate certain responses that can later be analyzed. So, here's kind of an example. I use Facebook groups when I do primary research because I want to get answers from a lot of different people, and I may not have all of their email addresses to do a survey. So, market research section, this was a while back. I asked, who here is on TikTok? Are your kids on TikTok? If so, what are their ages? So I was doing market research to see if my demographic was on TikTok. Another question, super simple and easy. I created a poll in Facebook, and I was making a bunch of trucker hats for the brand Ultrabuds, but I didn't know what colors to choose. What color do people like these days, you know? What's the most popular? How many should I get of each color? So if you can see here all the different numbers, I'm going to obviously order more red, black, and green than royal, navy, and yellow when it comes to trucker hats because that's how people answered the questions. Secondary market research uses information that is organized by an outside source like the government, agencies, media, and chambers of commerce as an example as well. This information is published in newspapers, magazines, books, company websites, free government, and non-government agencies. So some examples of some secondary sources could be public sources such as the libraries. These can be either government libraries, public libraries, school libraries, MiraCosta Library. Commercial sources could be local papers, magazines, journals, television, or media. And when I say local papers, this is all online stuff now. Like no one really has actual physical papers anymore. Educational institutions, I mentioned that already. MiraCosta College has amazing library facilities for you guys to do secondary research. If you can't find something at, say, MiraCosta Library, go to Palomar. See if Palomar Library has stuff for you. See if Cal State San Marcos Library has articles that you go, or even go online and visit different digital libraries from different colleges. So, steps for conducting market research. Define the problem. Questions should be directed to solve problems. Make sure the questions are clear so that the respondents can understand them. Ask yourself and be able to answer, why are we doing the research? You need to understand it so that the person you're asking can understand it. Define the sample. A representative sample is a small number of people that reflect as accurately as possible in a larger group. You do not want to waste your time collecting information from the wrong population, so make sure you're hitting up the correct demographic. Also, pay attention that not all people will answer your survey because they're busy or they answer it incompletely, skip answers. Maybe there's no incentive to do it. So sometimes adding an incentive like entering a drawing, or maybe if it's a certain product, everyone who participates gets a sample product. I personally only answer surveys if there's an incentive or I'm getting put in a drawing. The larger the sample size, the more likely it is to be a representative of the population. So step 3 is to carry out the data collection in either in-person interviews, phone surveys, email surveys, or social media polls. Not many people do phone surveys anymore, so it's mostly going to be emails and social media. Analyzing the results. In-depth analysis will be effective in gaining solutions. Quantitative data can include age, sex, profession, and number of interviewees. Other data can be based on emotions or experiences. So now that we've kind of talked about competitor analysis, market research, we're going to get into surveys, which is such an easy way to gather data. So survey distribution methods. Sensitivity of study topic, when results are needed to incorporate into a business decision, how invested respondents are in a study topic, survey length, keep it short, when respondents should be invited to participate in a survey, survey complexity, cost, and response rate. So the most popular way of doing surveys is online or mobile, something that you can do from your phone very easily. So usually companies these days either email an invite. I haven't really seen text invites. maybe here and there, but usually it's an email invite or it's posted on social media. I would say the majority of time is email. And you want to keep the survey brief. It can include video and images, especially if it's an email. That kind of makes it exciting to open the email. It's very inexpensive. There's so much different kinds of software out there that's very inexpensive. Google Forms is a free one. And fast data collection for analysis. Response rate is moderate to high. So if you make it simple where someone's laying on the couch, they get an email, they click, there's only like 3 or 4 questions, it takes a minute to do it, people are going to do it. Now, the invitation to participate in the survey needs to gather the attention of the person that you want to respond. So you need to keep it short and sweet, generally 4 to 5 sentences, and you want to include the researcher's credential, which is the name of the company, or the research firms, because some people use third-party firms. The purpose of the survey: reason respondent is being asked to participate. Maybe they participated in an event and they want a survey of how they thought the event went and what can be improved on. How responses will be used. If their responses will be kept confidential or anonymous. Survey due date and incentive if applicable. So I kind of have an example here. I recently participated in a 6-day running race. It was 6 days running in the Colorado Rockies, called the Trans Rockies Race Series. It was 120 miles total. Yes, it was a very long, not easy race. A lot of logistics involved. Here are like a couple of the sample questions that they created. I think it was a total of 4 questions. It was super fast. I did it in a minute. It was an email they sent out. So this was page 1 of the email, page 2, and then you clicked on the button to do the survey. So there were no videos, but there was 2 images. So kind of thanking people for attending the event. Hope to see you back. We want your feedback and hear from you. There's also a link here to click on the survey, but then they had the major button as well. So reminders and social media invitations, because sometimes you need to send a reminder. People forget. And the reminders are short and sweet, so stripped down versions. Social invites are very brief. For email surveys, the language may be changed. So maybe instead of 2 pages, it's just 1 page for the reminder. Good practice is not to contact potential respondents with more than 2 reminders. That pretty much means they're not interested in participating. All right, so moving on. Marketing plans, step 2. Here we go, which is competitor and pest analysis. This stage of your marketing plan will have 2 sections. The competitor analysis is the number and size of competitors. So you're going to use data such as their percent of market share or annual sales to describe the size of the competitors. And the competitor analysis table to compare your product against direct competitors. Pest analysis, we went through this already: political, economic, social, cultural, and technological. You will have 1 document with both the competitor and pest analysis, separate sections in that document. More instructions are located in Canvas, and of course, email me. So this is actually a different assignment. This is just going to be surveys, not SurveyMonkey. I updated this assignment here to make it better for you guys. And marketing plan step 1, situation analysis. So these are the 2 things that will be due module 6 assignments. Of course, if you have any questions, email me or come to my office hours. Have a great rest of the week.